Good morning and hello there everybody. Welcome to EU4 Anbennar. Playing as Verkal Gulan for part leaning towards 7? 7. Right. I don't know what was the next part of the plan. I think it is Odd for Kanzard is the next part of the plan. Except the fact that we want to finish economic relatively quickly. Jeez, that's actually quite a lot of cash that flowed into my nation. Because they're happy, okay, so that's a total of 17.5 extra dev cost reduction, and with the all power cost reduction, it's only a 20% dev cost reduction just for having these guys all be happy. I need to dig this down another level, and I think we're at the bottom, so we're reaching the end of that. So this is... yeah, we'll sort that out now then. We'll do a dig into the chromium layer of... is it... there should be one for ruined copes. Yes, there is. And we're just studying conjuration with our new ruler. That's the next mine in that province. Oh no, I must remember they changed it so the Dwarven roads no longer produce the mines. I need to wait till I have 10,000 to take... that's 100,000 gold. Jesus, that's 500,000. Send the adventures, we got lots of money. So the hard part now is just waiting to get these two techs while I think about attacking Oddball Consart. And everyone around me, so it's converted to the chat. Alright. Expedition in Ruin Copes. Send 10,000. So we're gonna... oh shit, that's as high as that'll go while yeah. I'll just increase the morale by a tick, because the last time we did one of these, when I played Oddball Consard, we got barely any loot. So let's see if this is better off than that one. It's got a family heirloom, which we've already got a pretty decent advisor, and I'd have to spend money to upgrade him, so there's no point doing that. So I'll take the extra admin power. So recent treasure hunt has brought into opposition a beautiful golden breastplate, skillfully wrought with intricate geometric flourishes. Upon it is what appears to be a family crest. 3 goats top 3 mountains crowned with storm clouds. Today a nobleman has arrived, claiming to be the great-great-grandnephew of the last owner of the armour, who was killed by orcs a century ago. As brave, he presents a family seal matching that of the breastplate, and respectfully requests that we return the heirloom to him. Away with this fraud. And we have opened the gates. So upon reaching the end of the maze of tunnels and the winding staircase marked on the map, the scouts suddenly stop as the rest of the expedition pushes past them, and it becomes clear why. Before them stands the great steel gate of Grimhardem, still splendid and majestic as it was when it was abandoned, just as the previous expedition had reported. People hoped that the Great Forge had been spared the destruction that befell all else in the serpentspine. Several forward scouts seemed to push the great door open to gain entry. Soon there was a line of men pushed doors in unison, but to no avail. The gate remained still and silent. Perhaps the gears can be greased back into service. So with one last push and barely whispered, the great gate swing open and the expedition hurries inside. As the gate closes behind the last man, everyone relaxes. The finely crafted doors are still unblemished and will provide a bulwark against any creatures attempting to sneak in from the rear. Beyond the threshold, the walls of the entrance corridor are covered in pipes and more carvings, but unlike the door, these are blackened by soot and grime. The floor is likewise filthy, littered with metal and bone scraps, the unmistakable signs of goblin infestation. Grimly but resolutely, the expedition moves towards the flickering orange light that illuminates the end of the corridor. Is it hot in here, or is it just me? It's a Soviet forge, so maybe it's already active. Oh man, this is a lot writing. So we've got the Great Forge. As the expedition approaches the end of the corridor, the temperature continues to rise. Soldiers sweat and shift in their heavy armor, looking enviously at the airy roads and simple leather afforded to others. Rounding a corridor and entering the forge proper, a cavernous circular room bathed in the orange light opens up before them. Magma flows and drips from pipes running the length of the room, running to and from a great pit in the center of the room. So wide is the pit that, combined with the heat haze present, nobody can see across it to the other side clearly. Some of the bravest scouts venture to the edge, peering over it to see a great cauldron far below, suspended by huge chains with each link thicker than a man's torso. There are also simple metal elevators hanging haphazardly below, entering workers to levels below this one. They appear to be stuck and are out of reach for now. The floor is strewn with soot, debris, and all kinds of metal, bone, cloth, and food scraps lie everywhere. Looking up a giant dome is far above, funneling steam and other vapors into a large hole at the apex. In the shadow cast by the dome, rusty metal scaffolding, rickety ladders lead to nooks populated with glowing, unblinking eyes. Equidistant around the walls are carved stone doorways leading into miscellaneous rooms and antechambers, some with dedicated pipes servicing them. As the scouts return to what they saw, the rest of the expedition, one sets upon a discarded sheet of pig iron. A screech of alarm rings out, and a ruddy brown arm grabs their ankle. There was a feral goblin sleeping underneath it. Abandoning caution, the scouts sprint back to the main party as more goblins pour from the surrounding rooms and form around the pit. There is barely enough time for the expedition to close ranks around the scouts before the goblins crash into them. The relentless flood of feral goblins overwhelmed the wall of shields. The expedition scattered, fleeing back down the corridor towards the entrance. By the time the expedition leader had rallied the troops for counterattack to drive off the goblins, many of the more unfortunate men lay dead and trampled upon the floor in exchange for a pitifully small number of feral goblin lives. The dead are dragged solemnly into the entrance corridor to be retrieved later, and the expedition continues as best it can. That is a waste of lives. Bloody goblins. Feral bastards. It's the only thing to get ahead of time, my military points. Investigate is well handled. frustrating. So we got quality walls, so again another 460 duck crowds. With the immediate danger past, the expedition huddles together in an antechamber near the entrance to plan the next move. The untouched levels below are tantalizingly close, but they cannot continue until all the remaining squatters have been eradicated. The mages and the scouts of the expedition present the leader with options for which to deal with first. High above, they have identified the eyes in the shadow nooks and occasional echoing cries of those giant cave bats. Bats are even larger than normal, and what little of them can be seen has a distinctive reddish tint, leading several mages to they may have been mutated by the residual magics of the forge. If the swarm is not dealt with, a careless action could bring them down upon the expedition. Somewhere on the same level as the expedition is a lair of the feral goblins that first assailed them. The remains of the feral goblin charge will have retreated there for safety, as the strongest goblin will be lounged around in the comfort of their lair. The lair will also contain the feral goblin clan's boss's choice of loot scavenged from the forge. Cleansing the feral goblins will reward the expedition from these forts, but it's possible to know yet how many lurk within the lair. Lastly, a phantom hangs between this level and the next, surrounded on all sides by pipes. Judging by the various dials, valves, dials, and levers, the area was used to control the flow of liquids through the many pipes in the forge. Most of the controls are disparate, and those that appear serviceable are covered by magma leaking from weakened pipe junctions. If the flow of magma to the upper levels can be disabled, it will prevent further dangerous leaks from the pipes above. Again, the mages caution that the unstable magic forge are likely to have spawned magma oozes wherever magma leaks. These cannot be separated from regular magma without further inspection. Cleanse the feral goblin lair. Please kill the goblins. Oh my god, this is so much. So, by following the trail of blood left by the other feral goblins, the expedition scouts have located the lair. It sits in a room almost antipodal to the entrance, hidden by the heat haze over the central pit. The entrance has been repeatedly smashed and broken, and large enough for more than 6 men to walk through shoulder to shoulder. The adjoining chambers have also had the doorways battered, inner walls collapsed, and windows barricaded, with sheet metal creating a rather spacious lair protected from most of the heat of the forge. As the scouts watched, several dead feral goblins were brought from the lair and unceremoniously hurled into the central pit. No doubt their clan was angered by their failure to crush the expedition. Unfortunately, with the windows blocked, the scouts were unable to ascertain how many goblins remained in the lair or where they stored their loot. Despite the lack of information on their numbers, the expedition leader decides to carry out the strike immediately. Right now, the goblins will be bickering and fighting over who should take the blame for their previous attack's failure, and who should they risk their life to try again. They can be caught off guard while trapped in their lair. Their looted equipment and possible numeric advantage will be completely nullified. Hugging the walls of the forge chamber to remain undetected, the expedition approaches from both sides of the lair simultaneously. At the front are mages escorted by a small retinue of soldiers. On the leader's mark, mages will blast fireballs into the lair, summon flashes of light and plumes of smoke, and generally attempt to disorientate all the goblins inside. Any goblins rushing out of the lair for reprieve will be swiftly cut down, and once the mages are spent, the main body of the army will enter the lair to mop up the remains. As the leader begins counting down with hand signals, a loud belch emanates from the lair doorway. Daring not to breathe, the whole expedition watches powerlessly as a cave troll lumbers out of the doorway. It turns aside lazily, meeting the leader's gaze uncomprehendingly. As its eyes widen and it raises its misshapen hunk of metal it carries with both hands, the leader desperately cries, "Now! Attack now!" Quickly aim for the eyes. So all around the lair are the bodies of feral goblins mixed with those of some unlucky expedition members. Though the cave troll could crush 10 of them with one swing, it was powerless against the forces of gravity. After recovering from the initial chaos, a small squad led by a mage managed to lure the troll to the edge of the pit. Their bodies lie down there, with the troll now to be retrieved by a later expedition. Seeing their troll fall broke the will of the remaining feral goblins, and they were easily mown down by the reinvigorated expedition soldiers. The panic spells cast at the beginning of the operation destroyed much loot lying out in the open in the lair. As those searching the lair despaired, engineers discovered a hidden compartment at the back behind a makeshift throne of iron. Inside is all manner of decorative metal artifacts, goblets, candlesticks, ceremonial swords. The list goes on. So it gains a small amount of loot, but we didn't get absolutely crushed by the troll and the goblins, so that's always a good sign. Okay, I'm always quite happy to see a bunch of ancient dwarven knowledge. Bless me, jeez. So we grouped at the antechamber. So we're leaning against pillars and walls for a well-deserved rest. In the meantime, the exorcist leader is again presented with the potential options to clear the remaining beasts. I say we do the bats, because I feel like if you get distracted by the oozes and the bats get called down, you can't fight both. But it's a lot harder for magma oozes to come up on you when you're already fighting bats. So go with the bats. Get given some men. Show me Kanzard. So the mages of the realm have begun using their increasing wealth and power to buy land in alarming numbers, not only for private residences and institutes of magic, but founding their own businesses, organizations, and other sources of income. So I'm cautious that this might be a greater plot for the mages to underpower the powers of the other estates and the country itself. Or it could just be the natural way things go when people get rich and powerful. No, we have enough loyalty that we can prevent them and still keep, like, the power cost reduction, so... Right, so I'm gonna... No, we need the tech first. There's no point me pushing on them if I'm not gonna be able to take the tech anyway. So we got a secret passageway, and we're going to try the secret passageway again, and it's going to be the same bugbear thing. So the bats above. In the antechamber, a debate rages among the expedition about how best to handle the bats. One fireball and the whole swarm will be set alight, argues the trigger-happy mage. We won't even have to fight them. This debate is quickly vetoed by the leader of the scouts. Are you crazy? You'll bring the whole scaffold down on us. Before the mage can snap a response, he continues. Besides, this whole place is hotter than a dragon's armpit. Those bats probably eat magma for breakfast. What if your fireballs make them stronger? They'll be fighting giant, flaming bats. After several more minutes, the expedition leader steps in to make the final decision. No fireballs. As some of the less disciplined mages sulk, he organizes a group of soldiers and light archers to face the bats, leaving the rest of the expedition to hunker down in the antechamber and wait. The plan is simplicity itself. The soldiers will stand in a loose square around the archers, ready to protect them from any swooping bats. As of now, the swarm has not been alerted, so the first strike is key to the whole operation. The archers have been instructed to aim for the glowing eyes in the darkness, calling out their target's position quietly to ensure no bat is targeted twice. Once all the soldiers have identified a target, they will fire on the lead archer's mark, hopefully killing or disabling most of the swarm before they can even get close. Even without their great numbers, the remaining bats may still be dangerous, as their leathery wings have been known to deflect arrows and chipped swords. Still, as long as everyone remains calm, the casualties should be kept to the minimum. Unfazed by the screeching cries of bats, the archers identify the targets in mere minutes. Like a well-oiled machine, they fully draw, hold their arrows in unison for a few agonizing seconds. As a cry of fire rings across their ranks, a cloud of arrows sails gracefully up, piercing countless bats. The bats shriek and swoop, their fangs sharper and hide tougher than expected, but with their numbers so thin, casualties from the expedition are left few and far between. More tending to the wounded, a cleric knows that many bats were killed with a singular shot through the eye, leaving their unusual reddish hide intact. This unique, fire-resistant pelt will be of interest to many a craftsman back home. Why not give me it as loot then? Why only give me morale bonus? Where's my loot? Come on, guys. So the last thing to do would be slatter the magma oozes. So we got the magma below. Unsurprisingly, none of the expedition are keen on being sent down to the magma-covered platform hanging in the pit. After a quick drawing of lots, a small group of soldiers are chosen to accompany a water mage and an engineer down to the platform to attempt to disable the flow of magma. Sending too many men risks the weakening and overheating supports breaking, and so the remaining expedition can do nothing but watch as the group is lowered on chains to the platform. As the first soldier touches down on one of the few magma-free spaces, two magma oozes leap at them from the surrounding magma. Only a quick burst of water from the mage can keep them from engulfing him, and they are visibly shaken as the ooze recalls back into the safety of the magma. The next few minutes are much the same. The group makes painfully slow progress across the platform, clearing pools of magma and dodging magma ooze ambushes as best they can. As they reach the dense tangle of pipes with controls, the engineer cries out, "I can see the emergency shut-off pipes, but the valves are broken. I can't close them." There's little time to make a decision. The water mage is visibly exhausted and out of mana potions, and several of the group have already perished to the users. If the valves can be repaired and the flow of magma arrested, then the magma oozes on the platform will be severely weakened, perhaps enough to save the brave men down there. Though their situation is already pretty dire, what's the worst that could happen if the group is simply allowed to perish? Yeah, throw him whatever he needs to repair the valves. The engineer works successfully with what materials and tools are thrown down from above. With a grunt of effort, he finally turns the valves, shuts off the flow of magma. The magma oozes stop the assault, confused and weakened, providing the opening for the group to counterattack. Finally, the platform is cleared of magma oozes, and the relieved remainders of the group can be retrieved. As they're being pulled up, the engineer gas signals, "Above! Look out above!" Far above, the increased pressure from closing the emergency valves has pushed the pipes past their breaking point. As the expedition scrambles to get clear of them, they explode, sharing unlucky expedition members with magma and shrapnel. Were it not for that warning, our casualties would have been much greater. There is a silver lining too. Inside the magma were precious gemstones and chunks of ore, now left spread out on a platform for the taking. That's 600 soldiers dead to magma. That would be horrifying. So the beasts have been cleared. Let's examine the elevators. Damn, they're actually getting fucked. Come on. Oh yeah, let's get a castle as soon as I can. So you got broken elevators. With the surrounding beasts cleared and the expedition out of danger for now, interest in exploring the lower levels of the forge is reignited. The elevators once used to travel between floors hang below, their chains tangled and rusted. Many of the elevators are missing platforms and guardrails, and some have come loose altogether, barely visible, lying battered and broken deep in the pit. In this state, the expedition leader would be hard-pressed to find a single man willing to travel down using these, let alone a whole expedition. After several hours of examinations with telescopes and attempts to untangle the elevators with blasts of air, the engineers have come up with a plan. Though most of the elevators are not worth fixing, a group of larger freight elevators have been preserved in good condition and have been swung free from the debris, finding them thanks to the efforts of the majors. Unfortunately, the brakes are still deployed on each elevator, and the chains have been greatly weakened by the friction as the elevators slid further and further down over time. If these elevators are hauled up intact, the only major repair required is the replacement of the length of chain that hung above the elevators. However, the engineers caution that the new chain must be of sufficiently sturdy metal, or the next elevator fall may take half the expedition with it. Amid the rhythmic cries of heave ho as the men pull the elevators up, the expedition leader considers his options. The expedition has small stores of steel, iron, and bronze reserved for mending armor and emergency structural repairs. In a pinch, these could be fashioned into remarkably sturdy chains. Alternatively, the metal tracks strewn across the forge could be used instead. After all, they were good enough for the old doors of Gar Harden. Now, I use our supplies. I have more faith with what we know we have than what we could find. With the elevator chains replaced and fed into the elevator winches, the expedition watches anxiously as scrap is piled onto the elevator platforms to test their capacity. With the floors of the elevators completely covered, the winches are turned, and the elevators is grown downwards to the bottom of the pit. After a few tense minutes, the elevators arrive back at the top with their load intact and not a single chain so much as cracked. Gain some morale, explore the next level. Okay, so we've got a secret passage. We'll get some more loot. Just pay the... send them back out. Well, that was done. So 18 is done. We'll build a castle there. Now they're a vassal of Gulan Yule. But also this is dwarven territory, so get fucked. Although saying that, it might be more worthwhile for me to send one to this and get this place finally connected for when we get to repair all the railways, which are these guys at 16 I think? How on earth are they repairing the bloody railways? Oh, it's not all of them, they must have completed a mission and then it let them do a couple. That's fine. Right, so they have got no allies and they are outnumbered 2 to 1 by me. So if we can take Odvalazan, that also adds a decent chunk of space. Like another hold is always appreciated. It does mean that you start looking at Rajnad Haja, sorry. Which if I can, like I did before, Carrier Cave is probably the best place to be. They're allied to them, so they'll have to... Yeah, I'll have to attack this one if I'm gonna do anything. Did they just ally someone and then immediately get called into a war on their behalf, and then I immediately fucked them up by decking another war on them? Incredible. Alright, so I don't care whatever this one comes up with, but let's send one there and hope for Mithril gold. Exhibition menu. That was another great project in Diggers Road. Is that it? Just those two, right? Yeah, Diggers Road and... Oh, they got this one. Should be more than that. Oh yeah, that's the last one that I remember. The Mines of Razant and Tanad. And then Earthseed, yeah, that's right. Oh, we'll do Diggers Road. Wait for this one to come back up because we're going to want to go back into the ruined copes. So if we set that to template, we should be good to go. Let's just double check how much this is going to cost me. 496 admin. May Sorrel blind our enemies. We'll have our runes grafted on our body. Just to try and get this finished quicker. What's in day 6? Nope. Yeah, it's gonna have to be the counting house in Segrod. Switch positions. Is that a war me? No, it's not. Shit, you cheeky fucks. I mean, it gives them a win, so I mean I can't fault the decision. I can be frustrated with it, but I can't fault it. Right, you. Here's the max stack, so you can charge. And if I pop you open, research facility, rune mage leader, high class rune mage general, you gain a better general, which is always exciting times. Their numbers should have been much reduced, yeah. They should fall straight after this, hopefully. And all their men have moved over here, so they got nothing left behind me. So that means that this 66 stack can go and fight both those, while this one just sieges down this area. I don't mind if they want to attack the area directly next to the fort, because what are they going to do? Take the bloody fort. We'll accept the help. We're getting somewhere with our wizardry. Well, I've got you. Should have done that earlier, but you should have enough. Yeah, you do. Watch, you're going to be in one of these 3 provinces. It's the only place you can be. And Oddville Kunzard is restored. Right, it's currently in outer position. Technically, like, it's an exposed dwarven position, like dwarven hold position, so it's gonna have Oddville Kunzard oh yeah, 750 gold. Yeah, we'll throw a Runeforge Bastion there. I mean, I think it's a worthwhile decision. They don't even have enough men to take one of my forts. That's incredible. Human Highwayman. So, Human Highwayman using either our nation's instability or its anti-human What anti-human policies? You're integrated. You're liked. As a pretext to run amok, have begun to attack our people as they go about their business. They were of our own range, events usually, but these humans literally look all the same and are all over the place. Oof, don't say that. Let's make it impossible to hunt them down, potentially undesirable. We could set harder patrols and punish all the humans in the region on an accusation of harbouring them. Just establish more frequent patrols, and, you know, they're gonna be highwaymen. Kill them. Kill them all. So railway repairs. The Dwarvold in Dwarvold 48 is in serious needs of repairs after several sections were damaged. A cave and buried a set of switches and signals. A band of feral bugbears ripped off some rails to spark weapons. A small spur line has been nearly obliterated by a lava flow. Trains carrying cargo and passengers are backed up for miles as they take turns using one track for both directions. Repairing the track will be expensive, but not doing so will cost you more in the long term. Yeah, but it's 48. Like, it's not Verkal, it's not Oddville Kantard or Verkal. It's literally these 3 provinces here, 45 to 48. 4 provinces, sorry. And not one of them is a problem for me in terms of like maintenance. Fantastic. Another 250 experience. Okay, so they must have moved their troops out of there somehow. Unless they're hiding there, but I'll find out later. Oddville Azan has fallen. I should have taken one of the ones that gives me power in exchange. Right, so you want me to build a manufactory here. It is a salt province, though. You want on this province, which is shit. East Hollow. Cattle. No. Merchants, obviously. The only thing of any worthwhile in there is the salt. Oh, I guess I could have built soldiers with households now. Yeah, that could have worked. That's me. Should have been done. Alright. That's another hold that's returned to our control. Yeah, we've still got 150, but it's not as bad as I expected, to be honest. And our general has just kicked the bucket. Nice. Real nice. We can remove the Krakow Advisory Council. We don't need it. Come on, Pitt. I need you to pull something out your ass. Mithril. Out your ass, at least. Alright, let's go and take a look at Oddville Kantard. Oh no, that's not an explorable one. Cabinet of Curiosities. I think that's a standard one from the EU base games. So we'll take the extra innovativeness. You know, extra innovativeness never hurt anybody. Yes, this place is going to be nigh untouchable at the moment. It's exactly how we like it. Okay, now equal to men, which means that we're going to leave them alone. Do they have the mine thing? They do. Rose metal. Explore without the red tape. Come on, guy. You're nearly there. Yeah. Where are we seeing? Take the military. 422 is much more balanced. Drive Rod 51. Yeah, they're not too worried about it, so let the papers burn. Cool, but yeah. Right, we're nearly at the point where we can centralize the hold operations, which is what I'm waiting for. Oh. A great horde. Yes, seize them and all their wealth, because that lets me do the centralize the hold operations. So organize execution for Diggers Road. Last time we sent. Yeah, so that should be enough. Now the actual bonus we're looking for is not too much in like the gain of loot, but in the fact that this. Oh. Well, we'll definitely do that one now, because the idea that this will change to produce, you know, a metal, which we can use with our runesmiths, like slowly increasing production capacity is always useful. So we've got an Orcish warband, and Old Vault Azan has changed to the Jad as soon as we've taken it. So the Runic Vault. We've reached the main entrance, the massive vault door our scouts saw previously. It's not anything we've seen before, however. There is no obvious way to open the door. There are only 5 poles, each with a single metal disc of varying size. An accompanying mage has noted, however, that the entire setup is magical. We can even see the runes carved on the disc and pole. We could, of course, simply try to break our way in, or we could see if the puzzle had some kind of deranged lock. Try to solve the puzzle. The attempts to solve the puzzle quickly developed into heated arguments and even blows about what to do, such to the point that one expedition drew weapons and struck down one of the poles, breaking it. This helped sound alarm within the vault, and it opened, revealing a large rune and crafted golem. When we began to assault the expedition, killing 3 score individuals who were being brought down by a carefully timed blast from a mage. The door did not close behind the golem, however, and the way is now open. Brute force. That was the answer. Secret passage. Let's try it. You know, I keep trying that, and I keep getting away with 75 loot and losing 200 men. So maybe I should stop doing that and keep the men alive. Just, we've increased our ruler's knowledge. Has to be done. And another round of conjuration and studying. I'm glad that you can go into minus when you need to do things like that. So we got... They want to build a mage tower in East Hollow for half construction cost. What do they produce in East Hollow? I mean, I could be convinced. Yeah, fuck it, we'll allow it. So we've got the trap-filled hall. Beyond the vault door lay a long hallway, conspicuously clean of dust or grime. Runes covered the walls, the ceiling, and the floor, and through hesitant, we continued forward until one of our forward mages signaled the expedition to halt. Tossing a rock down the hallway where it skipped across the floor, seemingly relieved when nothing happened, they looked at the fleet and were promptly thrown back by an explosion. Scorched, but alive, they say that someone followed by a string curses has filled the hallway with explosive runes. Say that it's purely runes that are activated by sight and that simply not looking would suffice. One of the medics in them said that they could probably spare bandages to use as blindfolds, and that would also cut into the expeditionary supplies. Just use the bandages. We got all the supplies in the world at the moment. Now you got lots. Better to not be exploded. Okay? So, though perhaps risky, we knew we couldn't risk any unnecessary supply expenditures, as this was derived where the first group would cross holding a rope that extended the length of the hallway. Once safely on the side, they would hold the rope, and subsequent members of the expedition would be guided to the far end of the hall by their comrades through shouts and yells were used to coordinate those using the rope, to ensure that nobody was bumped into causing disaster. A lot of effort in all to get to the other side. Did I click the wrong button? Okay, even more ancient dwarven knowledge. That's a poor setup for this, but I can see why you did it because that's a gold province. So I guess still works out. But let me throw a thought here as well. So we're going to start making a claim on these guys. Because I would need this province. Also, it'd be a way of getting Kaliak Cave without having to fight the entirety of the Jad Empire. My hold is just going from strength to strength, which is a little bit worrying. Oh my god. Oh my god, they converted to the Jad. The Skewer Drake converted to the Jad? Orcish Jad worshippers. Praise the sun. So we got signs of runesmithing. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry about that. So we got signs of runesmithing. So a few more, though less deadly, traps laid in wait in the hall as we proceeded. Easily disarmed, we proceeded until we came across a large storage chamber. The contents surprised us. A neatly organized storage room. Along the walls there are chests, clearly labeled with materials of all kinds, some locked, some not. In the center of the room itself is a massive series of tables and benches with various pieces of what appear to be rune-enhanced tools, machinery, and even weapons. Search the perimeter first, okay? Because if we get attacked by a horde of goblins because we didn't check our corners, I'll be upset. You're a brave bitch, aren't you? So there's a virtue of diligence. While securing the perimeter, one of our scouts had something come from an adjacent room. Carefully peeking into said room, revealed that there was in fact a massive wall golem covered with runes and patrolling with a greatsword about as large as an ogre. There's no telling if it would have registered our presence having begun pillaging the place. We'll have to deal with this first before we can safely pillage the place. See? Check your area. Wait, so we'll do Heho Devar. We'll do Sekhidir because like this is an outlet area. Okay, you're worse. You're worse than you were before. Try again. So, in the golem encounter, after securing the perimeter, we have determined that in the most of the adjoining rooms there is nothing but dust coating the floors, as if there had been nobody in them for centuries. Perhaps millennia. A stark contrast to the well-lit, well-maintained storage room we are in now. There is of course the matter of the gigantic dwarven wall golem to deal with. Perhaps we can shut it down. You never know. Find some leather or the right, like, password, maybe. So one of our mages came up with an idea to, in essence, trick the golem into receiving a sleep command. Taking a number of reagents from our expedition's stocks, they began to carefully read the spell before bursting open the door and throwing a sphere of blue arcana energy towards the golem. Of course, the golem also began to approach the moment the door opened, but just as it raised its greatsword to cleave the mage in two, its runes glowed blue and its arm slackened, the greatsword clattering to the ground. Just footsteps away from our mage. After a few moments, some segments of armor plating cracked, the runes having given out after who knows how long of ceaseless operation. It seems it won't be getting back up from that. Which is a relief. We didn't end up losing half our expedition to a rampaging war golem. Go figure. Mecha spiders. Scanning the room after shutting down the golem, we began to look at the elevator. It was guarding. The elevator itself is massive, capable of shifting tremendous amounts of cargo deeper into this place. Unfortunately, it's at this moment that a horde of small mechanical spiders seemed to emerge from the elevator shaft, moving around the feet of our expeditionaries, and rushed to swarm the immobile golem. Many expeditionaries are at first puzzled and confused, because it's obvious what they were doing, repairing the golem. Maybe we can use this. Because the rune shut down, there's no way mecha spiders can reactivate runes, right? I don't care about pissing them off. Yeah, absolutely not. I hate enchantment magic. I hate it. With a passion. Like, there's some things I don't mind, like inspiring individuals to, you know, fight harder. Great. Acceptable. They were already wanting to fight. Inspire them so they could do it more effectively. Great. Mind control? Fuck off. Fuck the fuck off. Sorry about that, that's a tangent. Unsure of whether or not to destroy the spiders, one of our mages stepped forward with an idea. About that, if they intervened with the right spell at the right time, they may be able to convince the golem that execution itself is what they are meant to protect. Of course, they also say that without fresh material, the spiders have been at this for some time. A hesitant debate of whether or not risking the golem remaining a ticking disaster or being dealt with immediately was held, but in the end, the execution decided to agree with the mage's plan. It was a careful, cautious thing. Everyone was on edge until the very last moment, when the spell was cast. Just as the golem was reacting, it stood, reached for its sword, and did nothing. A hesitant command by the mage was followed as the spiders deactivated. A quick check by the mage confirmed the spiders had lost their animating magic and were now no more than exquisitely crafted inanimate constructions, though made with precious metals and some kind of gold thread. Okay, the equivalent of 200 soldiers is one dwarven roll golem. Cool, so we'll send them back out. And we will take in the exiles for points. I do like getting extra points. Alright, so we'll explore the Misty Cave next. Set up for digging operations in these two as well. That rotunda is getting on my nerves. I just have to take it just so I can ignore it. Yeah, we'll take it so I can ignore it. Sensational. Common metal vein in odd for Lazan. Well, they're just being restored now, which is great. We found titanium. Come on, you know you want to be something incredible. I forgot that I was so close to deepening the capital. No, we can't be getting tolerance losses with elves. I like the elves in my land. They make production efficiency increases. So Rockside in a cave has uncovered a sprawling mine complex, possibly hundreds of years old, although the mine itself seems to have long since been completely emptied of anything worth digging up. During exploration, we came across a massive hoard of jewellery and coinage, probably left here for safekeeping before the entrance was buried. So the mine should relinquish one last haul, giving us some military points. Happy with military points. It was the brave or the foolhardy who bring Greek to the paramount elder purchased at Arenel's Oddities, Kalibi's store run by Arenel the Strange for centuries, whose wares are never the same twice and never ever found anywhere in Bulwa. That said, it must have happened at some point in the past few decades, for that is the only possibility presence of today's shopping scene in Verkal Gulan. Territory was undergoing a careful entry when suddenly it rang with a series of loud explosions. Apparently, one of the guards has put his tea down on a dusty mahogany table that languished amidst other never-used gifts, and the act must have triggered some long-forgotten contingency spell. The table was instantly transmuted into a collection of spell tablets which date at least to the age of God Kings. The Mage Guild is clamoring for accuracy, saying it will revolutionize their craft, but the guard claims to have been imbued with some of the same magic that revealed them. And as long as we are willing to provide him with codices, he will be able to master knowledge in a way that no other can. You know what? I like the idea of that. You know, just put some tea down, gains untold magical knowledge by accident. Just coincidentally, oh, you fucked up, but you fucked up correctly, so it's fine. Okay, so Warlock's Cave. Oh, that requires coring first. West Great Cavern. What does the Spelling Furnace do? Good shooted butterfly plus 10%. But I can't really do much because it's gold. Endozen Spire is mithril, but it's not full cored yet. And full coring it is more expensive than I currently got to work with. And as for the Arcane Factory level 2, we can build that in North Great Cavern, which I will do. Because currently that increases the production efficiency from 30% to 20%. Fantastic. The goods modified plus 10% as well, so that's great. Yeah, nice. Oh, that's Terra Incognita. It doesn't, that's a lie. Come on, man. We I mean, at worst, I will attack Raj Nadhaja, but I don't want to fight fucking the Jad Empire at the same time. That's just asking for me to get balked. Right, that got me what I needed. Show me your bullshit. We'll do the ruined coats again. Yep. Just take the money. Alright, I'm gonna fill that by 100. Yeah. Take the mercantilism for ball bonuses. At war with the Obsidian Legion. I've undergone that particular disaster before, and I'm so glad that it's not me again. Who are you? Oh, they're at war with Everville. Yeah, but at the same time, the Obsidian Legion gains huge advantages at the start. So, a peculiar message. As the expedition once again passes over the threshold of Gromhardham, the familiar heat of the forge hits them. This time, most expedition members have stowed the heavy armor they wore through the caves in favor of lighter leather and hide armor. Some mages have even procured magical armor engraved with temperature-controlling runes, much to the jealousy of the other members. Many survivors of the last expedition have returned as expected, eager to see what hides in the lower levels that were made accessible by their previous efforts. Since the last expedition, some small exploratory parties have braved the journey to the lower levels to scout ahead, all sent back quickly from the heat, unsettled by the unnatural emptiness of the cavernous forge. Their efforts were not in vain, however, as the last party noticed a particular sack of engraved metal plates on a low level near an elevator. Some of these plates were scattered around as well, as they appear to have all originally been identical. The plates were all melted, dented, torn, or scratched in different places. No fully intact plate exists. The engraving is clearly some form of runic script, but deciphering the whole message is difficult. Additionally, the back of some of the plates holds a different engraving. With the least damaged plates spread out on the floor, learned members of the party puzzled together what the original message could be. Our ancestors' message is clear as day. We'll spend the supplies. I send them with a full stack of supplies for a reason, so we can do this shit. I said that Javarod 50 is converted to the Jad. So our ancestors' message. Translating the words of their ancestors is a common practice for dwarves, even more so since they began reclaiming their ancestral holds. With this experience, the expedition quickly decided both sides of the old dwarven message. The obverse is a stern reminder to the workers of Godhood that they must not become complacent. Reading, it is required to read the labels and consult the supervisor before manipulating any controls. The message on the rear is a notice to workers, remind them that what they should do if the great furnace beneath the forge is ever to go out. It reads, allow the tears of the father and the fire of the mountain to flow into the furnace. The expedition commits these translations to memory as if these messages were important to their ancestors, then they must be important to them too. I think that even the workers then required a reminder. You can't continue your rival. You just got absolutely shattered by Marhold. The command has been broken a few times, clearly. They only had the Jade March in existence. So beneath the cauldron, as the expedition travels slowly down the repaired freight elevators, they take in the sight surrounding the huge cauldron of the Great Forge. Metal rings of flooring similar to the top level surround the cauldron at different heights. Great pipes lead to and from the cauldron, and smaller vats, forges, smithing stations, and carved chambers on each floor. These floors are much better preserved, and have been infested by squatters owing to the difficulty of reaching them. Have not been infested, sorry. Still, the squatters managed to swell the lower floors with rotting bodies and trash lying at the edges of the floors and piled up in the great cauldron, thrown into the central pit with no care for their destination. Soot blankets the floors and walls of each level, crunching underfoot and leaving ugly black stains behind. Below the huge cauldron on the bottom floor lies a fine mesh, still smouldering and belching strange vapours. The great furnace below has not completely extinguished even after millennia of disuse, leaving the whole of Garhodham swelteringly hot. Some engineers of the expedition shudder, imagine working here when the furnace was still at full blast. Once the repaired elevators touch the bottom floor for the first time, the expedition scouts dart off to explore the depths of Garhodham. A ring of engraved steel surrounds the mesh on the bottom floor, though it is difficult to see through the ankle-high piles of dust, bones, soot, and metal scraps that have collected over time. A rough stone tunnel is the only exit in the walls of the bottom floor, in line with the entrance gate far above. The scouts who entered the tunnel returned black with soot and panting with breath. They descended in a gentle sloping spiral, approaching the smouldering furnace beneath the mist. Their exploration was halted by magma pouring lazily from cracks above and in the walls, covering the huge steel bridge in front of them. So I could tell the bridge is still intact, but the magma must be cleared to gain access to the furnace. After reviewing the structure and pipeworks of the forge, the engineers of the expedition have determined the magma blocking the bridge should be flowing into the furnace below. Something is blocking the pipes into the furnace and causing an overflow of magma. How the forge is still smoldering without the heat from the magma is unknown but irrelevant for now. Judging by the inscriptions that remain on each level, the penultimate level is the best bet to clear the magma. Someone on that floor are the controls to manage the flow of magma and water used to generate steam into the furnace below. The scouts look to the expedition leader, wondering why to search first. Search on the right first. Fantastic. So, we got tunnel vision. The right side of the penultimate level has only a smattering of carved antechambers, all of which... fucking serpent bloom again? Smattering of carved antechambers, all of which have collapsed and are inaccessible. Unusually, there's a large carved stone tunnel as well. It's long but narrow, with smoothly curving walls and tipped with a simple stone staircase leading upwards. Curiously, the air in the tunnel is comparatively cooler and pleasantly humid, more akin to a beach holiday than a desert trek. The scouts sent into the tunnel are forced to return soon, however, the flickering orange light from above the staircase and the chaotic magic energy swirling the tunnel can only mean one thing: an infestation of magma oozes. The cool air means there is very little magma in the tunnel, so each ooze should be comparatively weaker than the ones experienced on the first floor. Still, the tunnel is far too narrow for a large force to enter, whereas the amorphous oozes will have no problem utilising their numbers. Ignoring the men clamouring to stand in the refreshing draft, the expedition begins selecting a team to clear the tunnel. I want water mages. The water mages in the last one did great. So line of soldiers advances steadily through the tunnels with jets of water sailing over the heads and shoulders at oncoming oozes. Each ooze is stunned by the water and swiftly crushed by the nearest soldier. The soldiers who are burnt or exhausted are roasted back and placed with the fresher soldiers, while the mages scan the roof and walls for ambushing oozes in their downtime while drinking mana potions. Even though soldiers at the back have feathers, picking through dead oozes searching for absorbed valuables. When the last ooze is reduced to a splatter of magma, the whole tunnel has been cleared with precious few casualties. Do you love it when a plan comes together? Glad you came on. We've got the dry river. This is so much talking. The cause of the pleasant climate in the tunnel is revealed as the expedition emerges into a naturally formed underground cavern. The difference between the work of nature and of man is striking after so long spent in the painstakingly carved rooms of the forge. It appears that once a great underground river flowed through the cavern, slowly carving peculiar channels into the rock. The sound of flowing water still echoes down the cavern, but a great bronze dam blocks the river. The dam stretches most of the way up to the cavern ceiling with four great gates lined along the base. These four gates are open but clogged with debris from upstream, leaving the underground with bread bone dry. Scouts sent to climb the dam report that there's a bubbling stream on the other side, not quite large enough to fill the whole cavern, even with the dam open. At the other end of the underground winter's bed, the floor suddenly drops and huge pipe snakes off in different directions to deliver water to the forge. It seems like the gates were once controlled mechanically, as they are far too heavy to be operated by hand. They also had retractable grates, presumably to prevent them from being clogged as they are now, but they were either torn from the dam or left up. The valves and levers on the dam itself do nothing now, so debris will need to be cleared another way. I'm not going to explode it now, because I feel like it could end up flooding, so everyone grab something heavy and get started. So most of the debris is soft rock and steel, easy broken with some hard strikes. Mixed in are a sort of pieces of scrap metal and harder rocks. These pieces must be carefully moved and pulled forward out of the blockages. The pressure of the water behind the debris is both a blessing and a curse, necessitating extra safety precautions. Each expedition member is tied to ropes, ready to catch them when the blockage has been weakened enough and decides to suddenly break free. After several close calls with rushing water and flying debris and a little extra help from water mages standing on top of the dam, the blockages are cleared and water once again flows through the riverbed. Hopefully that will cool down the forge a little bit, please. Just a little bit. We've got a secret passage which leads to an old workshop which gives us some knowledge, and beneath the cauldron the expedition exits the chamber, returns to the suits drawn penultimate level of the forge. Everyone settles down, leaning against walls and pipes to just catch their breath as best they can in the sweltering heat of the forge. After just a few minutes of respite, the expedition leader calls out the order to begin exploring the opposite side of the floor. Now we're going to look at the left side. So, no. Yes. I don't know if you guys heard that, but that was someone literally zooming along outside in their car. Right, so I think the only areas where I can do this before coring is pretty much done anyway. So the left side of the penultimate level is home to a series of small control chambers. All these chambers are once almost identical, containing pipes rising from the floor and into the ceiling of each, adorned with various valves and levers. Now, the control chambers are a spectrum from almost untouched to no more than a pile of rubble in a doorway. Unfortunately, the inscriptions above each room have long since worn away, making it difficult to tell what purpose even the intact control rooms serve. After a fruitless search for any more clues to each room's purpose, the expedition leader dispatches an engineer and a mage to the bottom floor. With a combination of divination and mechanical knowledge, they locate the pipes buried in the rock that ran to the furnace and follow them back up to the chamber that controls them. First feared that the expedition was out of luck. The chamber the engineer pointed to was one full of rubble. After a little excavation, however, it was clear the rubble was from the partial collapse of only one wall. With some improved braces, a further collapse is prevented, and once rubble is cleared out, the expedition leader can walk through the open path into the control chamber. Mercifully, the pipe's controls were not touched by the collapse and are still mostly intact. There are only 3 controls in the pipes, a pair of iron valves surrounding a strange reddish lever. The valves are once coloured too. There are small flecks of paint still stuck to the rear of them. It seems that the left valve was once a peculiar light green, while the right one was a deep yellow colour. Aside from the pipes running up the back wall on these controls, the room is in an empty uniform cube, only large enough for a handful of people. Alone in the room for now, the expedition leader ponders his options. Search for instructions in the control room first. You don't start pulling things willy-nilly unless you're willing to die. So the expedition leader crouches next to the cleric in the control room, puzzling over the inscription carved into the floor. Who knows what the architects were thinking placing the instructions there, but luckily they were not too badly damaged by the cave-in or the leader's boots. After several hours of painstaking restoration with small brushes, weak cleaning acid, and lots of water, the inscription is completely legible. Even so, it's not true to understand. It reads, "Those from Oddville Lodam finished last. He of Grosvenor moves before he of Verkal. Given the number of control rooms and the bizarre wide inscription, the cleric it functions as a memorial for the dwarves working here, though he could not decode it himself. The message was relayed outside to the whole expedition, but as of yet nobody has suggested how it relates to the controls in the room." Let me take a look at the controls again. So, Verkal, yellow, Grosvenor, I wish I could, that's the province, and that's Oddville Dam. So Garnet is red, gold is yellow, so Grosvenor must be green. It's the Emerald Dwarves, I think they are then. Production in Heroes Vale, and exchange corruption, yeah, sure. Whatever. Don't mind a bit of extra production here or there. So the left side, yeah, so let's come back up with this. So we've got the red, the green, and the yellow. Oh. So, follow down contrast. So yeah, so it was Oddville Down comes last, which is red. Verkal comes next, which is yellow, and then green, which is Grosvenor, must be the first one. So for the green, as the leader completes his action, a satisfying whirring and hissing emanates from the pipes before him. The sound echoes into the main area where the expedition waits, assuaging fears of a pipe explosion and soothing frayed nerves. Yes, thank fuck for that. I've genuinely thought I'd forgotten the mnemonic. I can't pronounce that word. I'm very sorry. It's not. It's gone. But now we know it's the yellow valve. Which, I'm so glad that I had an idea already of Oddball Ladam being garnet, which is red. All these other ones are all shit-based, which I can't use any of them. So, we pulled the red lever for the garnet dwarves. So, we have completed the complex controls. So let's move on. We've done what we can with the controls. Yeah, this might be the last thing I do, because I just want to clear out this expedition. So beneath the cauldron. Yeah, we got an expanded force limit so we can build some more troops. So beneath the cauldron. The expedition exits the chamber, returns to the strewn penultimate level of the forge. Everyone settles down, leaning against the walls and pipes to catch their breath as best they can in the sweltering heat of the forge. After just a few minutes of respite, the expedition calls out the order to begin exploring the opposite side of the floor. We must see if the magma has cleared. Please let the magma have cleared. Game, you sexy fuck. A war wizard who is the only good thing about them is they're really high shot compared to our old war wizard leader. It's not nowhere near as good. But I'm just gonna give it one more chance. If it's just, I don't even care if it's mythical, just be a metal. So we've got the burning bridge. Despite the best efforts of the expedition, the steel bridge that leads into the furnace is still covered in magma, and has been dug. The flow has relented somewhat, leaving sections of the bridge clear enough for the expedition to pass through, but magma still pours from above and pours upon the bridge. The bubbling, roiling boil of magma that has collected beneath the bridge is uncomfortably close, leaving the bridge hot enough to burn skin on contact. Despite these adversities, the expedition makes the decision to push on while the bridge is somewhat passable. As scouts move ahead, examining magma pools for waiting oozes and clearing magma as best they can, the expedition follows. Just be careful. Oh, we can do the restore Her Devar. Once that's done, that will restore. Oh no, it's that one that isn't. That might be. Oh. Okay, well I guess I'll make the claims and we'll finish them off then. I was just going to leave them alone and let them dev themselves into oblivion. Okay, so while we can, we'll do 2 more hold digging operations in those 2 regions. 2 holds, I mean. We'll upgrade the Hero's Gate finally. Yeah, we're already good with that one. There's something to check. You know. Yeah, we can't build anything else yet, but we can explore the holds. Her Devar in particular. I found a potential runic blueprint for... Yeah, never underestimate pockets. Clockwork Ballista. Great. So, onwards with the furnace gate. As the expedition advances towards the location of the furnace, the tunnel becomes rougher and less uniform. This was clearly once part of a natural cave system and was left mostly untouched by the dwarves constructing the forge. Light flickers strangely off ore mostly untouched by the dwarves constructing the forge. Light flickers strangely off all seams, and the walls seem to close in as they keep advancing. The heat grows and grows, and the expedition is walking through a visible heat haze, with many mages reporting magical distortions as well. Finally, a huge pair of doors are illuminated before them. It is similar to the doors at the entrance of the Grom Hardum, but they show signs of being hastily barricaded from this side. Steel bars, sheets of iron, and other makeshift materials have been molded and welded to the gate, and hastily carved inscriptions on walls cover the whole door. Evidently, despite the forge being abandoned in a hurry, the inhabitants were gravely concerned about whatever was behind the door. This is the last straw for the expedition leader. Many of the expedition are at risk of passing up from the heat, with the mages reporting nausea and dizziness from the chaotic magical energies swirling before the doors. He knows that in this state, even a flock of bats would pose a serious challenge, let alone whatever is still behind those doors. The expedition retreats back across the steel bridge for now, resolving to return better prepared to face whatever lies inside. Yeah, let's send them back out. We spent a lot more than we gained, but I'm fine with that. Because again, we're doing this for the project, not for loot gains. Oh, the next one is gonna probably be another military idea. I'm leaning towards quality for the extra economic ideas. Although offensive could be a shout, but that's artillery combat ability, so it could definitely be a shout. I mean, the other thing I could do is take trade for the extra goods produced, but then I don't think there's anything that's military based with that one. Offensive ideas, I guess. Otherwise, it's not really the same. Maybe admin. Actually, if I was to take plutocratic ideas, because there's a dev cost reduction, there's a goods produced like bonus, like extra mercs, extra. Like it's not as good as I remember actually. I mean, morale of armies is always nice, but that literally resolves around public attrition, which I'm not struggling with. The other option is merc ideas. Not really a struggle either. Yeah, so it's gonna be offensive. Oh no, it'll be quality first for the 10% discipline, then it will be offensive. I'm gonna lean fully into military matters at this point in time. Speaking of which, we still need a lot of admin to core everything we've taken so far. Send the adventurers. Oh yes, so that was that done. This place has been excavated, which means we can now deepen this a level, which gives us local goods fuse for the first 5%, which is great. Civilization is still really high, but we can sort that out when we need to. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call it here. I hope you've enjoyed seeing me digging out 2 great projects, slowly but surely. We've got another one to do in Diggers Road for the same great project we did before in this area, the Riz van Brethar, sorry. So yeah, that'll be a pretty good one to do next. I hope you've enjoyed. I know it's been relatively slow and a lot of me talking and reading out what we've been seeing, but a lot of it is actually very interesting. So I hope you enjoyed that at least. I will see you again next time. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.